all know that Kayleigh McEnany, as White House press secretary, spends most of her time defending Donald Trump's actions regardless of how hideous they are. However, back in 2015, she was speaking a completely different tune or singing a completely different tune. In fact, she seemed to be a little more favorable toward Joe Biden and very critical toward Donald Trump. Let's take a look at the first of two videos.
I think the Republicans run into a problem if it is Joe Biden and if it is maybe a Trump on the other side. Because Joe Biden, one of the things he is remarkable at is really kind of being a man of the people and resonating with middle-class voters, feeling like coming off as human. You know, his gaffes, as much as we make fun of them, to a certain extent, they make him look human. So in that sense, he's likable.
You know, the thing that is beyond disappointing with like the political climate that we're dealing with right now is how hard it is to find principled people, right? When it comes to a situation where they get to choose between their personal values and their principles or power, they're gonna go with power. Most people do in politics. And I think Kayleigh McEnany is just the latest example of that. So that was a video from 2015. There's more video of her from 2015. Let's look at the next one.
How sick of polls are people in New Hampshire right now?
Probably very sick, especially when they see that Donald Trump is #2 and doesn't deserve to be there.
Okay,
Look,
what do you think of the Trump excitement? What do you chalk that up?
I appreciate his boldness, and I think some of his rhetoric got the base excited, but it is not welcome rhetoric. Look, the GOP doesn't need to be turning away voters and isolating them. We need to be bringing them into the tent. Donald Trump is the last person who's going to do that. I want to make clear I don't support what Donald Trump said. I think he said something very inartful, very inappropriate. However, he was hitting at a real issue in this country.
Well, let's talk about that then specifically. His stance on immigration, what is it, and is his stance the stance of most Republicans?
I think that the stance of most Republicans is we've got to plug the border, but I think the mainstream Republican does not want to send the illegal immigrant back to Mexico. I think that they're here to stay. That's not the American way. We're not going to ship people across the border. There has to be some path to citizenship. Donald Trump has shown himself to be a showman. I don't think he's a serious candidate.
Kayleigh, this is your guy. He's #2 in the polls.
Hey, I don't want to claim this guy. Donald Trump, if we're going to be honest, is a progressive. He supports eminent domain. He's supported tax increases before. He's donated $300,000 to Democratic candidates. So the fact that the Republican Party is now having to claim him is both unfortunate and, to me, inauthentic, because this is not a true Republican candidate. And the fact that he's being portrayed as such in media is troublesome and not accurate.
I want to do some woodworking. And like, I hate politics so much. I hate politics as it stands today. And like, there are no honest people, like none, 0%. Does anyone stand for anything? If I had those things to say about Donald Trump, would I be his press secretary if he approached me and asked me to be his? No, I wouldn't. I don't want to be press secretary for someone that I have those thoughts toward. But hey, Kayleigh McEnany, it's all about power. It's all about, advancing your career. And I guess I don't know if that's the smart decision. Maybe I'm the dummy here.
Yeah, no. So in that first clip when she was talking about how great Joe Biden is and how he can connect to the average man, if we let it keep going, actually she then starts talking about how Trump is a tycoon, and and it would be unlikely for a middle-class guy like Joe Biden to lose to a tycoon like Trump. And now, of course, we now know he's broke, but he plays a tycoon on TV, literally. And she thought that would not connect. Now, of course, he was able to pretend to be a populist well enough. He faked it well enough. And the way that all of these people have turned around. I mean, the horrible things Lindsey Graham used to say about him and how much he now kisses his ass. Ted Cruz, the same thing. He better not say that about my wife. There's gonna be consequences. I'll only make 100 calls and not 120 calls on his behalf later as I'm phone banking for him and begging you to vote for him. These are, look, the males are the beta males, the Ted Cruz's, the Lindsey Grahams, the ones who've given up all of their honor, their principles, their manhood to Donald Trump. It's wonderfully sickening. I'm here for it. Now, Kayleigh McEnany, there's two parts that I thought were the best out of all those wonderful hits. One was when she said, his real problem is he's a progressive. Yeah, that's Trump's problem. He's a progressive. I mean, man, she was trying to hit him in every way imaginable. That's probably the biggest insult she's got. She's like, oh yeah, I mean, he's racist. He says inartful things, all those things, who cares? But he might be a progressive. But no, the #1 prize though goes to when she said he's inauthentic. Who's inauthentic now? Now that you've turned around and you work for him. Not only that, you're literally his mouthpiece. You're his press secretary. So you go out there and fluff him up and lie on his behalf. Who's inauthentic now, Kayleigh McEnany? Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.